Hi everyone, you are listening to the Manifesting Straight Talk podcast, and I'm your host, Rachel Chamley. I'm a mindset and manifesting coach from the UK, and I am here to ignite that fire inside of you. If you are a female entrepreneur or change maker, or just a woman that is wanting more from life, then you are in exactly the right place. I am going to give you my no-nonsense, straight-talking advice to manifesting and show you how to take your life to that next level. So if you're ready, dive in now. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's podcast episode. This week I want to talk to you about how you might be holding yourself back without even realizing it. Now, I have said in the past that our words are like spells, but our words are projections of what we actually think. So when you've said something, you are committing that to the universe, you are putting that out there. But as well, when you think about our thoughts create our realities, our thoughts are these frequencies, these radio waves that we're putting out to the world. But once we voice them, once we vocalize them, once we say them out loud, we are magnifying that energy. We are really putting oomph behind it. And that's why your words really are like spells. They really do create your reality. And that's why when you get your energy behind an affirmation, it is like you are casting a spell on your mind and your energy and what you're projecting out. So if you are affirming something really positive with energy behind it, then that's what you are bringing into your environment. And if you do that over and over again, often enough, it has such a huge impact. But the problem is we often hold ourselves back because we have these ties that we are saying out loud, often in conversation, and we don't even realize it. Now, I want to dive into what these could be. And I want you to start to imagine the energetic cords that these ties and words start to cause on your body and your influence to vibrate at a certain level and attract in what you want, because really you get what you expect. So if you are saying these things over and over on repeat, you are expecting that that's what you're going to get. Now, some of these things can come in all sorts of different forms, and I want to talk to you about these because the little stories, the little anecdotes, the little things that you let creep into your mind and probably have done from a childhood age, you'll have heard them over and over again. And they're things that if you think about, an energetic cord is wrapping around your body and tightening and restricting that energy every time these things are said. Now, not even when they're said, that because they're so in your subconscious, they're what you believe. So these ties are there. And then every time we hear something that gives us that belief, it just gets tighter and tighter, and your energy gets more restricted and more restricted. So I hope you've got this idea in your head of these ties round you, a bit like, is it a python or an adder that would wrap around you and squeeze? Like that is literally what these are doing. They're squeezing all your energy into one place rather than you vibrating out with the connectedness of everything. Because we ultimately are limitless, but we put all these limits on us. And these ties, they create rules, they create things that we believe are true. So we create all these rules that actually aren't even true. And when you reset to zero and you free yourself from these ties, you can attract so much more. So some of these ties can come in things like ancestral stories. How many of us have an ancestral story of the way things go? You know, in my family, there's a long, long line of real kind of fractiousness in the family. Like someone stopped talking to another part of the family, totally shut off, totally, cut them out their lives. right up until the end, it never got repaired. And this has happened over and over again. And things like that, you hear all these stories. I heard the story of my Auntie Carrie falling out with my Auntie Margaret and all the ties that went with it. And all this, it lingers in your family, that there's this fraction, there's this split. And that now there's energy around that, even in my own family, which is quite different for me. But it's been there, it's lingered, that story's been in my mind, it's been, in the background all my life. Other things like illness that runs through a family. Now my family, they've all, at a certain point, there's quite a lot of them now with diabetes, and they're all saying, oh, well, it must be ancestral, it must be in the genes, it must be part of our family, it must be what happens. So then you start to program, is that going to be me? When I'm at that age, is that going to be me? Am I going to be the one that gets it? Am I going to be one of the siblings that gets it? And it just starts this ball rolling of putting these rules in your family, or putting these rules in your family line, that it becomes expected that is what you are going to get because it's in your family. And we all have these stories of illness that, travel through generations. And we've got to think, is it from a point of view of you're constantly worrying about it? You're constantly thinking, is that going to be me? You're constantly thinking, is that going to happen? Or is it the fact that it is genetics? Who knows? But what if we could reset to zero and change our story, rewrite the script? Now, what if there's stories around your family not being good with money, or your family, not liking rich people, or all the different things, all the different stories, all the different rules, that rich people aren't nice, all of this stuff that is there in your family that has become an energetic tie. I know for me, there was a big thing around rich people aren't very nice. So ultimately, I never wanted to be rich. They were spoiled, they were horrible, they were showy. And, I probably dim my light a lot of the time because of that. Whereas actually my money archetype is split between celebrity and nurturer. So I am like all out there, like, I want the money, I want it. And then there's the other part of me that's like, I want to help everybody, like I want to give them all it for free. So that plays out all the time. But the celebrity side used to be shunned, used to be put down, because the nurturer used to hear them words of, people aren't nice when they have money. Rich people aren't nice. So I'd be like, well, I can't be like that. So my celebrity side just took a dimmed herself down, dipped down into the behind the limelight, so far behind the limelight. And now it's like, right, I'm here. So it's come out big style now, but yeah, it's stuff like that really has an impact. So when you hear these things, it impacts you and it impacts your actions. It impacts how much you receive. It impacts how much you actually vibrate at. So when we vibrate, we become a match for the things that we want. So if we're dimming ourselves down because of all these old stories in your family, then suddenly you have a mismatch. I can't get my words out today. You have a mismatch between where you are and where you want to be. And that doesn't work when you're manifesting. You cannot want something that's up here and not act up there. That is not the way. You've got to be acting at that level, at that frequency. That is the way to go. So ancestral stories, there is tons I could mention, but you will have your own. So please have a think of this podcast today. I'll put some journal prompts in, but start to think about what them stories are that plague your family. What are them stories that are holding you back that you didn't even realize, because you think they're just the silly stories from the family. They're just the things that people say. It just is, because it's always been in your family. It's all you know. But the thing is, it's not real. It's just stories. But these stories have created spells, which have created ties, which have created real intention around it. And that's created the reality. Whereas you can be the one to break that reality. You can be the one to break those ancestral ties. You don't have to wait for a miracle. You can decide today. You can reset to zero and you can decide today. So another thing, society norms. We're hearing so many of these at the minute. You know, work around, you need a job to have money. Inflation equals less money. You know, we suddenly think, right, oh my God, inflation's happened. It literally means less money. I'm sorry, how many of us got through the last recession and still standing and still have more money today than you did back then? Hello, I know I'm for one, I definitely have. So why do we always program in that an inflation or a crisis like we're going through now suddenly means you have less money? If you have the right mindset about it, if you have that entrepreneurial spirit, if you have like something in you that is going to create ideas or create a new way of looking at it or change your mindset around money, there is a million different ways that money can flow into you, and it does not have to come from a job. And it doesn't mean that because you're not getting a pay rise, you are not going to be able to meet your bills. There is so many ways, so many things that could happen. But because this society norm is going round that inflation equals less money for us, suddenly we're struggling, we're tight, things are feeling tight. And I'm feeling that like the consciousness of people's thoughts around this. And I'm really having to be, because I'm an empath, I'm really having to be careful that I am not taking that on. I am protecting my energy every single day just from all these talks about prices going up, inflation, all of that stuff. Because if I let that absorb, then I know that I'm going to be at that point where it's affecting my frequency. So I choose but not for that to happen, because I do not believe that my abundance and the amount I make is linked to the energetics of the inflation and all that stuff. So, you can shift your script around that. Just because something's happening like that doesn't mean that you are the one that has to suffer. It doesn't mean that you cannot focus on abundance. It doesn't mean that you can't write your own script around what can happen for you. So, that is a huge one at the minute. And these society norms really, around women should earn less than men, all this stuff that's just being programmed into us from such a young age. It's harder for women because they have a family. It's harder for women in business because, they have that time out. Or if they don't, they choose not to have a family and then it's frowned upon. There is so much stuff, so much crap that society puts on us that isn't real. Again, it's all these rules, all these boundaries, all these things that are there to keep us small, because it's people who weren't succeeding, people who weren't thinking outside the box, people who were just, living lives that they didn't really enjoy. So they created these rules to make themselves feel better, to make themselves feel like, well, I can't make that much money because I'm here. It's victim mentality. It's the to me consciousness. It's happening to me. And if you step out of that and go, actually, I can create whatever I want, because, I have that energy in me that is as me, that if I am at a high vibrational frequency and I am putting that out there, I can literally bring in miracles. I can create heaven on earth. So please do not get sucked into this to me consciousness, because that is what's happening. That is what society puts on us. And it's all like we're out of control. We don't have the control. And the thing is, we don't. When this energy is wrapping around us and getting tighter and tighter, you keep saying you don't have control. You keep saying it's happening to you. And suddenly you are so restricted, you feel it, you get short of breath, you get anxious, you get worried, you can't take your mind off the negative. This is what happens. Whereas actually you can choose to free your energy from these beliefs. You can choose to rewrite your script. And that is what you really need to start to do. Now, another one, business rules. We all have loads of business rules. Think of all these people who say you can't be a millionaire if you're not in the 5 a.m. club. Well, I'm sorry, I'm a night owl. Like, I am never going to be in the 5 a.m. club. or, it's just not in line with me at this current state. And it does, there's a lot of entrepreneurs who do not get up at 4 or 5 a.m., work till like midnight, and then get 2 hours sleep or whatever. Like, that is crazy. That is old masculine energy. That is really not the rules that we want to be buying into as female entrepreneurs. If you want to get up at 5 a.m. and exercise and feel good in that way, and that works for you, you do that. If you want to get up at 10 a.m. and do exactly the same thing and work your afternoon, you do that. You do whatever the hell you want, because you write the rules. There is no rules around this. There is only you and the level you vibrate at. And if you are pushing yourself to get up at 5 a.m. to make somebody else, someone else's rules fit, then you are dimming your energy. If you are making yourself do that, or you are saying you should do that, you are literally dipping your energy. It doesn't matter, how much you're trying. If it isn't right for you, it's got to be your rules, your way of doing it. And the other thing is, algorithms. We talk about this all the time. Instagram's changed the algorithms. Such and such have changed it. Oh my God, nobody's seeing my posts. Nobody's going to be in touch with me. My business is going to go down. Like, I'm not going to get anybody. Or the other one, I don't have enough followers. I don't have enough on my email list to make money. It is all bullshit because it's all about energy. It's all about the energy you put out. Literally, when I input my high vibrational energy, I get pinged all the time on my phone back from people joining my website. And I'm like, I don't even know where these people are coming from, but it's like ping, ping, ping. And suddenly, and I'm thinking, what's happening? And I realize energy. I am in the highest vibration ever. And yet when I'm not, when I'm low, because we all have cycles, we all have dips, we all have, peaks and troughs. And when I'm not, that doesn't happen, or unless I have programmed my mind to say that is going to happen when I rest. And that is a new rule that you should start to put in, especially as a female entrepreneur. I make money every time I take time for myself. Every time I rest, I make money. That should be your rule, because literally you can write any rules that you want. Your new ties don't have to be ties there could be, so much expansion that you are actually putting your energy out. Imagine these big energetic golden light whips that you are putting out into the universe, and you are literally whipping out that energy to anyone and everyone, because you can do that. You can literally write whatever you want and then just say it over and over again on repeat so often. So every morning, have an energy rant. Have something like, oh my God, I am in the fittest I've ever been. I feel amazing. People just vibrate to me all the time. I get the best clients. They just find me out of anywhere. They are so amazing. They buy my high ticket offers. They buy everything that is there for them. They thrive in everything that they try. Literally, I'm seeing transformation after transformation. It is amazing. But best of all, I absolutely love working with these people. They fill me with so much joy. I hear from them all the time, telling me all the good stuff that's happened. It is incredible. My list keeps growing. I get so many amazing people on my email list. Like, there's so many followers on Instagram that are just reaching out and connecting. And the connection is just so good. It literally makes my heart sing. They're absolute rock stars. I love working with these people. And honestly, I do not even know where they find me. It is incredible. They just show up and show up and show up. And it gets better and better every day. And every day I feel like abundance is coming more. I'm seeing more money in my bank account. I'm paying off my bills. I'm literally feeling freer and freer. And every day just gets better and better. And it is incredible. And I love how much I get to share with the world. I love meeting new people. I love hearing their stories. I love hearing how much impact this is making. And it is amazing. That is an energy rant, and that is what you could do every single day. And you just freestyle, say whatever is in your heart, say how much you want to work with these people, how much you want to attract the right people to you, whatever that is, whether it's in a relationship. If you are looking for a man, you could be like, I am feeling sexy as hell. I know that I am attracting the right person for me. He's amazing. He's this, he is that, blah, 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 rhyme off, or she is this, she is that, or they, whatever you want to say, but literally rhyme off all the stuff that you want and create your own rules. Do not live by ancestral stories, society norms, or, the business success stories that we have running around in our heads. It is time to take control and reset yourself to 0 today, because you've just heard something that could possibly change your whole trajectory. So you release the old and you step into this new energy, and you write down, what is it you do want? What is it you do want to believe? What is it you want to let go of? All these old stories, write them down. And I'll put some prompts in, like I say, but, split your paper in 2, old stuff you want to let go of, new stuff you want to let in, and literally keep the new, scribble out the old, because every time that comes in, you just letting it go. And every time them old things creep in, start to do an energy rant, start to do, oh my God, that is so old me. I'm this now, I'm amazing, I'm blah, 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 blah. And just have your energy rant and really go for it. It really is incredible when you start doing this. So please have a look at the show notes. I will put some journal prompts in. And if anybody has any questions, you know where to find me. Come to Manifesting Straight Talk Facebook group, and I will be in there and I'll answer anything you want to know about this. Or catch me on Instagram. You can DM me at Rachel Chamley. And I would love, love, love to hear what new rules you are putting in place for you, because now is the time to really go for it. And I've put some details in about all the stuff I've got going on at the minute. So take a look at the show notes. Also, if you are loving this podcast, please leave a review. I would love to hear how it's connecting with you, because you are one of my rock star people. Remember that. I am putting that energy out there. You, whoever is listening today, you are the rock star. So just remember that, and have an amazing week. Catch you next time. Bye. I'm Rachel Chamley, and you've been listening to the Manifesting Straight Talk podcast. If you're not already following me on social media, make sure you come and find me on Instagram. I'm at Rachel Chamley, or come and join the Manifesting Straight Talk Facebook group. All my details are in the show notes, so you can catch me there. But I hope you've been left feeling inspired after this podcast. It was so much fun. Join me next time for another episode of Manifesting Straight Talk.